There's that music, wake up money. And speaking of homes, making those improvements can actually be pretty costly, but in the long run, it can prove to be a worthy investment.
Yeah, we go back and forth with this at my house all the time. Here to talk about the best home improvement investments is Turbo Realty owner Chris Schilling.
Good morning,
to
good morning.
you, and welcome to our little set here. We appreciate you coming in. Well, let's talk about what home improvements you should consider. Which ones will you actually see the money come back out if you do sell your house?
Well, there's lots of things you can do, but where the biggest money is spent and the biggest return that you're going to get is typically your kitchens and your bathrooms. That's the most expensive thing in a home. And whenever they try to build it, you know, your big rooms, your bedrooms, everything are cheap, but your kitchens and bathrooms where you spend the money.
Why is that?
It just costs more money. So you think about like the faucets. I mean, whenever you just have a regular room or floors, you know, sheetrock is pretty inexpensive, but all the equipment that goes into a bathroom or a kitchen, you know, even like the appliances, it's the big spend in the house.
And plumbing, if you got to move the plumbing around.
Ooh, it's very expensive.
So investing in the kitchen and bathroom, how is that going to help folks in the long run?
In the long run, one, you're going to enjoy it, right? So, you know, some of it's going to be personal preference, but as far as your return on investment, that's probably the best place that you're going to see it. The other thing is whenever you go to sell a home, if you have all the other homes and they haven't been updated, whenever a consumer goes in and finds that home that's been all updated and it's all nice and sparkly and shiny, that's the one that they buy and they'll pay a premium for it.
So can you get by doing kind of the bare minimum upgrades, or should you crank it full throttle and do like state-of-the-art everything?
So you really ought to do the middle, and because if you go too crazy on your improvements, you're not going to see that return on that. So in fact, it's interesting. Some of the brands, just like Toyota and Lexus, they have brands where if you buy this one versus that one, they're made in the same factory. So you can buy a dishwasher that's $700. You can buy a dishwasher that's $1,500. You know, whenever you go to buy or sell a home, you're not going to get the extra money for that other $700 for the dishwasher. So you can get a nice one, get a good quality one that you'll enjoy and actually save some money and then return that on the other side when you sell.
So Chris, is there anything that you shouldn't invest in? Maybe something needs an upgrade and you're kind of on the fence about it.
Yeah, probably the biggest thing that people make a mistake on is doing something that's like crazy exotic. If you get something that's like a wood or a tile that's a special order that you're going to pay a premium for, because we've seen, tile can run $2, $3, $4 a tile, but you can get ones that cost $20 a tile. You're not going to see the return whenever you spend that crazy money on things that are pretty exotic or your ultra high-end finishes. You have to pay attention to the neighborhood. So like if you have a modest neighborhood, you're not going to do the same sort of finishes that you do if you lived in River Oaks. So you need to pay attention to not just the neighborhood as well as what the cost of those individual improvements are going to be.
How about for folks who own a swimming pool? That's always a big issue. I know when my parents were looking for a house, sometimes it was all fixed up, sometimes it wasn't. So that can be a lot of money.
Yeah, so the swimming pool, I mean, it's a big expense whenever you have a swimming pool, both to maintain it as well as just to own it. Just to replaster those things can be very expensive. The problem that you have whenever you go to sell a home, because we think about when you're going to buy and sell it, is that if you have a problem, right now it's your problem. I mean, it's the one that owns it. And so if you're going to sell the home, you're trying to transition your problem to somebody else. And so they tend to actually charge you more. So if you fix it, it's going to cost you one amount, but if there's a hassle factor that goes into them fixing it, so get it fixed ahead of time. It's probably your better course of action for selling it.
Chris Schilling, Turbo Realty, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate it.